Y'all think he gonna let this team get blown out? Like, because okay, Connecticut we won, but when we play teams with firepower, it gets scary.
Yeah.
And you need another wing. I feel like Brooklyn said, you need another two-way wing. And then that's two-way wing. If you get another perimeter defender, an actual defender, and can maybe score as well, that would definitely help. They
But
can go like 2-3.
to your question, Miss Goody Two Shoes, I don't think he's gonna do nothing. I think, listen, again, you got to realize too, like I said earlier, his job is on the line. He got bosses too, right? He don't own this team, so these are decisions he made. He can't keep spending their money, right? He decided to spend their money how he spent it, and he convinced everybody that this was the path. So maybe that article again was his last ditch straw, because these owners is like, all right, we want to see some results, right? We got a new facility coming that we spending a lot of money on, right? A bunch of free agencies going to be available next season. We want to be an attractive destination. They felt like Teaspoon wasn't the coach because Teaspoon didn't have the philosophy that vets would want to play under. So Tyler Marsh is supposed to be that guy that has the offense for the vets, but it's just not looking good. So he has to, do some damage control to try to make sure that he still has a job, because his job is on the line too.
No, they gotta trade somebody, because that's unfair to Kennedy. Even if you do want her back, there's only $53,000 left in the cap.
56. So, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you do a buyout, you'll have a little more. I think you do buyout Mariah Jefferson, you'll have an extra 40 to 50,000 left over.
Well, also,
so that'll be close to 100,000 if you take that.
Also, to your point, I don't think this is gonna happen, but they could also cut one of them non-guaranteed contracts. So Kia Nurse, that 145 is non-guaranteed, but I don't think he's cutting her. To your point, Miss Goody Two Shoes, he could cut Maddie, right? But that's only 70 something thousand, right? She was a
I don't think that. I think she's 66,000.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't know what she's making. I would have to go back and take a look. But so that's another option, cutting one of them non-guaranteed contracts. Wody Mac, what's going on, my brother? Wody Mac is on the panel.
Yeah, yo, what's up, yo? What's up? I'm surprised, yo, that you was still there, bro. I ran around some errands, came back. I was going through my YouTube feed and I saw you live. I said, nah, that gotta be a mistake.
Listen, I normally wouldn't be live this late, but I said, you know what? I said, I've been gone for a minute. Right. So I said a lot of people rock with me still. So I said, let's, we having a good conversation. So I said, let's talk about it. Yeah, let's keep it going. I mean, they bringing up some good points. So we having a good conversation.
Man, we can have a conversation for hours. I mean, if we tap on pause, like a lot of different teams and a lot of players that we've seen making some noise throughout this season. So y'all do mind me. I'm listening intently what y'all talking about, trying to catch up to where we had in conversation. But I see you that was Kennedy that was on the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow, yo, yeah. Like when I saw that blonde hair, and I was like, and I saw Tecate, I was like, that look like Mexico. That gotta be Kennedy, bro. Yeah, she definitely got a cold handle, bro. She got a cold handle for real. That drag curl she was doing, I was like, I don't see no woman in the league doing that right there.
Cold handle. It looked like she's working on her shot, trying to become more of a 3-level scorer. Like I said earlier, you want your guards at least to be able to score on all 3 levels, right? So she's working on a 3, off the dribble, coming off, shooting the midi. She able to get to the rack. Yeah, man. But unfortunately, that's a fantasy right now. Hopefully she in the league soon, though. Regardless of what team she goes to, Jeff needs to make it right, but regardless of whatever team she goes to, hopefully she get back in the league soon. But she chilling. She not worried about it. She in Mexico chilling right now, working on her game, signing titties, and playing ball.
She is signing titties though. Sure, that's crazy.
It's one thing I say is just weird as it comes to me for far as basketball is concerned, right? I use say like a Kobe Bryant or Jalen Brunson, the way that they play ball, isolation heavy, or Carmelo Anthony, right? Where they got a plethora of moves they can use to get theirs off, but nobody else is touching the ball, right? So the way that even like when Skip to Malou came into the league and a lot of stuff that like Kennedy is doing right there, I can see a coach like, yeah, all that we don't need all that. Hurry up and get to your shot, you know what I mean? But when they're doing it and they can't be stopped, like why try to rein them in? Yeah, occasionally, yeah, sometimes maybe some bad shots may come of it, you know, turnover potentially, you know what I mean? But if they're generally more often than not effective and they getting theirs off, why try to rein that in? Let them go, bro. Let them lose.
I really think that's dependent on the coach, right? You got old school coaches, and I think it also depending on how, because even when you bring up Skip to Malou, he wasn't doing the stuff he did in the park and in games, right? It's like how creative are you being when the goal is to put the ball in the basket? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it really depends on the coach, and it depends on what you bring. I didn't see anything wrong with what Kennedy Carter was doing right there, as far as like being too fancy. You get what I'm saying? Because you got to be able to get, especially as a smaller guard, and as quick as she is, you got to be able to get to your spots. So you got to be able to have that handle to like freeze a defender. She wasn't doing nothing that I thought was like and one parkish. You get what I'm saying? Like she was doing stuff I could see her doing in the league. Crazy. Yeah, so.
There was a little bit of flair to the move, you know what I mean? And I can envision it's stunning a couple of the defenders. You know what I'm saying? I could definitely see her stunning a couple of people with it. But it had a little flair to it. But that's about it. Just a little style like that. That quick where she took the step, like that extended step through the tween real quick and brought it back. Like, yeah. Now coach be like, all right, boom, all right, 2-3 dribbles. Now go up or get to the rack off of that. You know what I mean? Some coach, again, depending on if it's an old school coach or new thinking, like these Carlson Mescos. Like I'm liking how he's encouraging Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner to take threes, take about 2 or 3 a game. New way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? I love to see it.
With that said, though, getting back to my Chicago Scotto, even though she was missing, because Mo 3 brought this up earlier. Even though she was missing, I do like to see her doing the dribble the ball up, stop and pop, right? Like that's something that if she can add that to her game consistently, that's gonna take her to another level. But I do like to see her taking that. Yeah, because she'll do the catch and shoots, but like the dribbling the ball up, she wasn't always. She'll drive straight to the rack. Sometimes she's stopping and shooting it now. So I just want to give her that credit.
Now, people's opinions of Tyler Marshall and how this thing has been going is mainly due to their record, right? But I'm wondering, does Tyler Marshall get any type of credit for, one of those training videos leaked? Does he get any type of credit for some of this development and encouragement with seeing Angel to go ahead, be the best you? You think his fingerprints is on?
I don't think
some of what I'm saying.
No, of course. I mean, I think people was giving Tyler Marshall credit for what he deserved, but you also holding him accountable for the mistakes that he's making, right? Like, one of the biggest issues, and it's not saying that he doesn't do anything good. I think he has a good offense. Let me say that. I think he has a good offense. I think the problem with his offense, and I've said this before, is it's too complicated. So I think he needs to simplify his offense, right? I think his offense, if he had a veteran team or he was like the coach of the Olympic team, something like that, where these players are like in their primes and they know exactly who they are, his offense will probably be a flawless offense. It looked like an offense that everybody's a threat. You get what I'm saying? I hear background noise. I don't know if that's you, Wody Mac. But if it is, mute your mic. But so his offense is good. The problem is because you don't have a veteran team, because you have a team with rookies on it, because you have a team of because you're a first year coach, because you have a team that just came together, all of those things, you're gonna have turnovers, and that's one of the biggest issues with your offense because it's so complicated as far as what decision do I make. People is making a wrong decision, or they taking too long to make a decision, or they making a decision second late, or whatever, or they rushing the decision. So that's the issue. You get what I'm saying? So again, to your point, does he give credit? It's not that everybody is saying that you're completely terrible. It's just things that it's adjustments. It's the fact that you had Rebecca Allen and you just started her a couple games ago when you should have been started her. Like when everybody was saying like, oh no, Rebecca Allen should be a starter in this. But it took you. You get what I'm saying? And then to me, his biggest issue is his defense, right? His defense. He doesn't focus on defense. He focuses too much on what's happening offensively that he doesn't stop nobody. So now when to Ms. Goody Two Shoes point, when we come across those teams that have high firepower, again, to my point about having Enrique, the reason why we keep losing is because in the third and fourth quarters, when these teams turn up, they have one of those players, right? They have a Ryan Howard that could drop 30 out of nowhere. We didn't. When we played the LA Sparks a few games ago, just before we went to Dallas and won those games, we was playing well in the first and second quarter. Third quarter comes and Kelsey Plum goes crazy. We didn't have a counter for that because we didn't have a go crazy player back. You get what I'm saying? But even though we don't have those players, we do have a team that that's a defensive team. Rashad, what's going on, my brother? We do have a team that's a defensive team, but your scheme doesn't allow them to play defense. Right? Your scheme has people. So and what happened, because I went back and watched some of these games, what's happening is soon as we get caught on the screen, our defense is over. Like everybody is out of place soon as they set a screen. So that's coaching. Coach, he should be saying go over, go under, we're gonna switch it. What he rather do is play zone. That's terrible coaching for me. He rather just play zone. I'm saying. So it's like, so again, the issue isn't are we gonna give Tyler Marsh credit? Tyler Marsh, I'm sure, is doing good things. The issue is holding him accountable when he makes mistakes. And he's just making a lot of mistakes. He is a first year coach. He has been coaching bad. Rotation. He has been coaching bad. This is what it is. He hasn't been trusting his rookies. Like it is what it is. Now, do I think it's all on him? No. I do think that part of it is pleasing his boss, which is Jeff Palioka. Part of it is pleasing his boss. I think part of it is that. But we just holding Jeff accountable for the mistakes Jeff makes. But does that mean that Jeff ain't do nothing that he doesn't? Jeff, one thing I will say about Tyler. One thing I'll say about Tyler is I think he still has a locker room from what I see. The coach, the players still trust him. He hasn't lost the locker room. Nobody in the locker room is pointing fingers at each other yet, right? This is still a close team. And, I do, to give him credit, I do see him work. Like today, they played defense. I was surprised. I didn't expect it. Now, they only did it in one quarter. They only did it in the fourth quarter. But I do see things where it's like him putting in Rebecca Allen, smart move by him. Late move, late adjustment, smart. So my point is, yes, he's doing things. I saw what you saw today. You talking about when they was in a locker room and he gave Angel the flowers. Oh, this is who you can be. Yes, he gets credit for when he does things well, but he also gets held accountable for when he does things wrong. It's that simple.
Anybody wanted to say something to that?
I mean, we've seen Angel flirt with the triple double before. And even at LSU, like in college, you don't see massive assist numbers like outside of Caitlin Clark. But Angel Reese was still, I think, behind two of the guards in assists. So, I mean, I'm not really seeing, the only thing that I'm seeing is he's now leaning into Angel. But we're leaning into her style of play because Vandersloot is gone.
True that. Also, I would say for a lot of players, just repetitions with things. You can come back after practicing heavy on something, come back the next game, and maybe just go through muscle memory if you're given some space to try something in live action, right? You know, why I was alluding with Brooklyn here though, like do what knowing Tyler Marsh's speciality being a player development coach, and he likes to take credit for some of the unlocking some of the things with Jackie Young, right? Also, Teresa Weatherspoon, which she was the player development coach for the New Orleans Pelicans. And one reason I think they went with her because they knew they were going to have a lot of high draft pick rookies, and they were hoping that whatever she was good at or can specialize in, she would be able to impart some of this developmental training with these players, right? So they went from one developmental player coach to another, right? The video that leaked, well, I don't even want to say leaked, the video that a lot of people were using for a while where they had the one coach, you know, putting a body on Angel, they throwing it off the rim and letting her catch it and then go back up with it, and you're like just going over the rim, like just like it take 50 of them until you make such and such, you know, like how some coaches would do, like just going through repetition. So we're not seeing everything they're doing behind the scenes, right? But whatever, plus also he's got his homeboy that he played college ball with, Aaron Johnson. Now I would assume he'd be more beneficial to the guards, but who knows, right? And Courtney Paris on the staff, and the Nigerian head coach are two also on the staff. So whatever, pardon my phone. So whatever they're doing behind the scenes that we're not seeing, I know some things take time again to take root, but I'm assuming that what we're not seeing, the work behind the scenes, may be helping Angel sharpening some of the rough edges around her game, because she had a hell of a efficient game 2 weeks ago. Y'all remember that 8 of 10 game, and like from since then, every game has been looking fairly good from since then. Y'all remember? If you remember the one I had, they took the L, but she was like 8 of 10 and had a solid game, 17 points, and you know what I mean?
Now, if she can do that consistently, because people love to say that he fixed Jackie Young's shot. Now, if you fix Angel Reese's shot, baby
Well,
Tyler
that
Marsh,
jump shot ain't going nowhere this season. Not this season. It'll take
I'm just,
still more time than that.
I'm just saying, if he fixed that, I'm gonna give you some credit on something. Because the thing about Angel is, Angel has been classified as a big, but she never had a bigs game. She never had back to the basket, post up moves. Yeah, she can dominate in the paint where she gets the rebound and she can box people out. But she's never been a traditional big if you've ever watched her, even at LSU. So I'm not seeing it, but if he fixes that shot, I will be the first person. I will
What
be
you
number
might be
one.
able to see, I think one thing that you may be able to see, and not necessarily in the jump shot, because a lot of people that's like off season working and coming back next season and attempting something, but the way that she attacks closeouts, the angles that she takes in attacking off of the dribble, even the layup mechanics, I think that can be a slight fix. You're still gonna revert back to old habits when defense are under pressure. You know what I mean? Layup mechanics, attacking angles, and decision making on defense. You know what I mean? Whether to go over, how to go over, under, and certain schemes. And I see some things she was doing in a dribble handoff with Ariel Atkins. I got a couple assists off of that. You know what I mean? The same way, like, and this I think is I attribute this to Stephanie White for the Fever. The defensive philosophy that she has, which is her forte. I see that a lot of those things rubbing off or being evident in the way that the Fever play defense, the way that they're paying attention to detail. Like, she's on them constantly, it seems, about it. So even though they may not all be great individual defenders, they communicate. They're switching on the Fever is A1. I saw CC make 3 switches on a defensive possession while locating her next man and not doing like she did last season, being completely brain dead in off-ball defense on the weak side. I was like, oh my. That right there shows what the coaching, you know what I mean? The coaching having a hand on something. So we'll see with Tyler Marsh. And I think some of the things that he's great at might be seeping into his team. Hey, and I can show you what I'm referring to. We're not going that delve deep. But again, one part of defense is switching off screens and locating and identifying the open man or communicating. That's part of defense too. You know what I mean? And staying between your man and the rim and defending without fouling. She did a decent job at it with it last game against Liberty, even though most of the time in man-to-man defense they had her on the least threatening offensive option, like Natasha Cloud, because the Cloud is not trying to attack. And still, regardless, that's generally what you would want to do: put your worst defender on the least, you know what I mean, the lowest threat on offense. And still, even then, when she got switched off to Stewie a couple of times, she can't stop Stewie, but she defended without fouling for the most part. Good job.
I'm not sure on the Caitlin Clark piece, but on the Angel Reese defensive piece, and it isn't to say that she hasn't improved, but the biggest jump that I saw was in Unrivaled, right? So maybe there are little tweaks and things like that that he's been helping with since she's gotten back to Chicago. But the biggest leap was in the off season.
And I will say this too. I don't think there's anything wrong with Angel's shot. I think it's more so her confidence. I think when she stopped overthinking it and just shoot, she could shoot pretty well. I think she showed that last year and she showed that this year. I think what she needs help with though is transition wise. She still don't know how to make a layup, if that makes sense. Like if she's not doing the Euro step she's comfortable with, she come down and but like if she's in transition, I could tell like she's still overthinking the layup. She's still worrying about whether she's gonna miss it or not. So those areas, and then also what I said earlier, she needs help, or I guess I could say help. She needs help not letting the refs bail her out, because what happens is when she gets contact, she think the refs is gonna blow the whistle, so she'll just throw the ball up. And it's like, Angel, they not blowing the whistle for you. So what she needs to do is finish through contact. She needs to say, regardless if the ref is gonna blow the whistle or not, I'm gonna go up and try to make this layup, even though I'm getting fouled, and even though they should blow the whistle and I should be going through the line. She needs to practice finishing through the contact so that if they don't blow the whistle, she's not relying on that. So those are the couple things that I think she needs to work on. And then also just adding pump fakes. She needs to add some pump fakes. She needs to add some post pivots, pump fake, pivot. And if she adds that, she'll be fine. But as far as just her shooting goes, her jump shot, she can actually shoot the ball. She just don't. It's like mentally she tell herself, and I think it's from coaching. I just think coaches told her it's not a high percentage shot, because to me what don't make sense is you much rather go in there amongst players bigger than you and have the risk of being blocked 2 or 3 times than shooting his wide open shot. You can't nobody block you. But she prefers to go inside. So I just think it's a mental thing of her feeling like, oh, that's more high percentage if I go to the rim, even though it's a more difficult shot because they're gonna double and triple me, and I'm gonna have bigger players on me. When I could shoot this shot that I'm not doubled and tripled on, and they probably not even gonna guard it. I'm wide open, so I probably should shoot it.
I would say this though, right? For most of these players, especially the players that they get to a certain point where it's just like refining, adding to the game, is just perfecting for Reese, for CC, for any rookie, for Camilla, perfecting certain fundamentals that they may not have a mastery on yet. Is what, like for CC, defensive techniques, right? Which I think Coach White is helping her get an idea of. It's going to take some time to set in, but defensive techniques that just based on a lot of different fundamental techniques and values for Reese. Or you said some fundamental post work, for fundamental post move to give you options to when you're down there. Just like look at what Tina Charles was doing today. Like Tina Charles has an array of moves to go to, feints, pivots, you know what I mean, fadeaways, so on and so forth, even spot up, one step put, all tight, and that's all just basic fundamental stuff, post work, right? So which again, it's something that Angel could add to her bag. So that's all I'm saying is perfecting the fundamentals, not necessarily trying to, you know what I mean, go to the advanced. What we need to work on with Angel, just like with Coach Tyler Marsh. I don't know if this is what he's looking at. Okay, so you do this well. You see, we need to add a post spin to your game. So now if they take this away from you, you get a good defender, you have this to go to as well. You know what I mean? Give you 2 or 3 things you can utilize to go to. So now you got a go-to move. You know what I mean? Developing your go-to moves. That's all.
Another thing too, I would say about Angel, the good thing about her is, mute your mic, Bodie. The good thing about her is she's only 22, 23. She's only 23 now. And these players don't get into their prime till they're about 25 to 30-ish, you know, between 25 and 30. So she got a long way to go. So you don't have to be a finished product right now, right? So the fact that she had the type of rookie season she had showed us that she's gonna be in the WNBA for a long time. And the fact that she's having a sophomore season that she's having is showing us that she can add and develop new things to her game. So by the time she's 25, 26, 27, 28, Angel gonna be a problem. So all these things we talking about, she need to work on in year 2. She got a lot of time. She got a lot of time before she's in her prime, her career, to be the player that, you know, we want her to be. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, yeah. Anybody else want to sing? I've said a lot. I've said enough.
And I was just gonna say, I agree with that. I just think part of the reason why we see Angel Reese is having some things to work on is she's classified as a big, so we have the expectation for her to have post work, post moves. And her game really isn't that. And I'm not saying that that's not something that she should add, but I would rather her perfect the mid-range and get into those shots, because she's, you know, Key looked it up. When we talk about Nafisa Collier, Aja Wilson, all of those people, all of the 4s, Angel Reese is having the most attempts via layups than any other
I agree
4
with that.
in the league.
Yeah,
And
I
so
agree
she's only
with you.
6'3".
My bad. Yeah,
You about to go down there and tussle with John Quell to try to
6'6".
get a layup? You know, so to Wodie's point, or maybe it was Brooklyn, like, that doesn't make sense. Asia is only shooting 19% layups.
Wow, that's it? 19%?
Yeah, everybody's under
That makes a
20.
lot of sense. No, but what you're saying,
Wow, you're right. That makes
what
sense.
you're saying goes back to the point I'm making. They understand that you can't guard me from here, right? I could make this shot, and even if I do have to score, because I've seen Asia do this on plenty of people, even if I do have to score on somebody that's bigger than me, I'm not gonna try to go up and over you like Angel tries to do. I'm gonna hit you with a pump fake. I'm gonna pivot, all right? And what that does is it freezes the defender because the defender don't want to foul. So at that point, the defender just stands there and put their hands up while Asia's and then Asia got an easy layup now because the defender just like this now, just watching, right? With Angel, what they do is they know Angel is not gonna hit them with 100 moves, so they not frozen. So what they do is when Angel is going up, they bam, timed it, and they blocking it. That's why I keep saying that.
That's not being called.
Right, or she's getting fouled and it's not getting called, and then she's missing it, and that counts. Two things that's happening: she's getting fouled, and that count, and she's missing it, and that counts as a missed layup, so it counts against her field goal percentage. Or she's going up and getting blocked, and that counts against her field goal percentage. Right. So, and then she doesn't have again, that's how I said maybe this is coaching. She doesn't have the thought process to say, hey, I might as well just shoot this instead of going, because in her brain, and you know what, and I'm pretty sure when she in college, they was calling those calls for her. That's probably why she continues to do it. She's expecting it to be called, but they not calling them calls in the pros. So instead of her adjusting and saying, hey, maybe I should just shoot this midi to Goody Two Shoes point. Maybe I should just shoot this midi because I'm open, or maybe I should shoot this three because I'm open. She prefers to go in the paint because one, she's more comfortable in there, and two, she thinks she's gonna get the call, and she's not gonna get the call. So this is, and I'm seeing her adjust. Don't get it twisted. She hasn't. Obviously, is a work in progress, but I'm seeing her ever since that New York game, she started shooting the ball. I just need her to continue. I just need her to continue shooting the ball.